What's it like to get inside her head? Well, first of all, it's great that you're on. You're going to be on the whole season. Guest star. She kind of belongs.
It's interesting because I am not a computer person. I barely check my emails. Thank you. All of that. So there's a lot of times that I was reading it and I was like, I have no idea what I'm talking about or what I'm saying. And I was Googling up one of my lines that was in the last episode because I was like, what am I talking about? And then all this stuff came up about the singularity and all of that stuff. So then I went through that rabbit hole of reading and watching all of those movies. So now I kind of am like, I sort of see what she's talking about. And it's scary in a way because it really might happen. I mean, there are very smart people who believe all this stuff that she believes is going to happen. And so when I say she's not crazy, I think I'm like protecting myself for later when people are like, you thought you were crazy and now that all happened.
And your character, she was actually, when you were introduced last year, I said, I really hope that they bring her into the team. That door was open.
Yeah, the door was open.
And what I'm seeing from her is that there's a great opportunity for some humor, like in the first episode, oops, where you killed the guy.
Yeah.
So what's it like to be kind of part of the team and to have those little moments?
Yeah, no, it's good. She adds a different dynamic to the Reese and Finch. She's kind of a mix of both of them in some way, she won't fully commit herself to the team. I don't think she'll commit herself to anybody because at this point she's a man without a country. I mean, her own country turned against her, and so I think being with these guys, it serves a dual purpose. I mean, one, it's to protect herself, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And, I think the other part of it is, she's a soldier. She is an advocate of the machine because she knows the machine does good. And she's there to carry out whatever orders it is that Finch gives her. But I don't think she'll ever fully join the team. She's a lone wolf and she likes to be kept that way. But they are teaching her how to be a polite assassin. How to shoot in the kneecaps.
Are we gonna see a softer side of?
You know what? So far, of the stuff that we've shot, there is an episode. It's episode 5, which I guess is not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. We see a small crack in the veneer, and something happens that gets her a little bit, and it's also a flashback episode. You get to see Shaw when she was younger and why she became the way she is.
Amy, it's kind of funny, but in some ways your character is kind of like opposite doppelganger to Michael Emerson's character. And when you're together, that relationship is like, wow, watching the two of you.
Yeah, it's funny because we both care about the same thing, but from different ways. So I think a lot of this year is actually kind of how that's going to connect, and if one of us will go more towards the other direction.
Amy, can I ask you really quick about Much Ado About Nothing? Any more Shakespeare in your future?
I don't know. I got a call from Joss the other day saying he wanted to do another reading, which we hadn't done since before Much Ado. So he must be getting deep into Avengers 2 to need a Shakespeare break.
What would be another Shakespearean role you'd like to tackle?
I love all the comedies. I mean, Twelfth Night, Lila, I love Midsummer. I'm not picky with them. They're all so good. I just love saying those words and getting to do those parts, especially with good friends like that.
No. So you two have played very, very strong female characters. Who's your favorite, female superhero?
Fictional superhero?
Fictional.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have one that you think is pretty cool that's real, tell us that too.
No, I mean, she's not a superhero, but Salt, I love Evelyn Salt, and I'm infatuated with Angelina Jolie. So, that's that one, yeah.
Okay.
Shaw's kind of my superhero.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Shaw is a good
Shaw's
one.
She's
awesome.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
And boy, can she shoot.
And she can eat a steak like no
That's
other.
Yeah, that's good. I'll say Shaw. I'm gonna be her when I grow up.
Now, as far as the flashbacks and like explaining different parts of your character and filling in the backstory, do you like that, or does part of you just wish the writers told you all that and you could just play that? character?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. Really. I mean, it's on one hand, sometimes there's a part of me that I don't want to know too much. I just want to know, what my character knows, and then I kind of fill in. That's pretty much what I do is I make up my own scenarios,
Okay.
and then when Jonah writes those flashbacks, I go, oh wow, was I off? But I do like the flashbacks because not only is it a nice treat for us actors to get to see how our characters originated, but it fills in some missing holes too.
Yeah, I really like watching them, so I get excited when we have them in the episode because I just think it's a nice little part of the show, and there's been some lines in scenes that Michael and I have had lately that have come up that it seems like there's going to be a flashback about that, like just some new
Because
information.
again, you haven't had
and,
really
yeah.
any flashbacks sort of explaining
Yeah,
your
just,
character, but you've had little bits of dialogue that suggest and lead you in different directions or
Yeah.
misdirect.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. I mean, it was fun when they had me as a little girl. It's just always fun to be like, oh, that's my little miniature me.
What's interesting too is Shaw's relationship with John.
Yes.
You think he sees a little bit of himself in Shaw?
Absolutely. I don't know if Shaw returns that because I think there's a emotional stiltedness about Shaw. There's an immaturity in some way, but yeah, he definitely. I really do believe that she is kind of the mix of Finch and Reese, and you definitely see some of herself. And they both have a lot of characteristics. Even that lone wolf, lone soldier aspect. They're not really people. They can, they're mirrors in some ways.
Now with Breaking Bad's series finale. I haven't even watched it myself.
Okay.
But series finales, they've gotten to be kind of a big deal.
I know.
We want the show to go 20 years from now. For Person of Interest season finale, what would be your fantasy ending?
Bear runs the world.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I think Roots would be the machine's the one who's left, but I don't know. For me, I want it to be me and Sarah.
Yeah.
We move the show to Hawaii.
That's right.
The island next to it is
Yeah.
where the machine is.
Yeah,
the next one.
And we're there drinking
Good old
the cocktails.
I'll sign up for that.
Person of Interest 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to think of it ending because you're just really unraveling so
Yeah,
many
it
layers.
seems like there's a lot to find out before then.
Yes, that's why the 20 years from now. 20 years.
No, I mean, what's been cool is watching you, like, you guest starred on Grimm 2, and that was neat. It was, all us Joss Whedon fans were watching you on that saying, hey, it's nice to kind of have her visit that territory. David had worked on Angel. And what was that like to kind of do that as a guest star?
It made me feel guilty that I wasn't, not that I was mean to them, but I wasn't as, that was the first time I'd really had prosthetics on, and so I thought about all the people who were on Angel had days and days with prosthetics and would complain, and I'd be like, oh, it's fine. And then I was like, no, that really is not that fun.
Well, you had like the whole body, prosthetic.
Yeah, that was a lot. And then I had the old person, and I was like, oh, I don't want to look like that when I'm old. it was interesting.
Now, Jim has talked about, he's done a lot of research. He's one of the things. Have you done much research into this?
The research I've done, when I first got the role, I had about 2 weeks of 8 hours a day. there was a military advisor that kind of became my coach, and I have such a crush on this man. I love him so much. His name is James Deaver, and he's like 60 years old but built like Arnold. He's incredible. And and we did a lot. It was like a crash course in like military training, gun training, weapon training, knife training, stunt fighting. It was that. So
in LA or here?
That was in LA and in New York. We did it both, and so there was that, and other than that, that's been pretty much it. The roles that I had before this, that even when I did play a cop on Life, there really wasn't much for me to do. I barely shot my gun, and it was just
You had to handcuff.
It was NBC. I was an NBC cop, so it was a little different.
I mean, do you do a lot of stunts? Do you do a lot of the action sequences?
They've been writing some good stuff for me, and I do most of mine. I'm always trying to argue with them and let them get me to do more. And I want to be the one to dangle from the ceiling and to jump off the roof and to wrestle the shark and to, and they're always having to tell me no. But one of these days, I'm going to get my way.
Cool. I'm also counting the days when she ends up breaking out of that place. I think it's going to happen.
Didn't that just air?
Yes.
You might be an episode behind.
I
We're not
I think
I'm always so scared to say anything.
Yeah. I mean,
You're in for a big surprise.
It was going to happen. Do you know what her arc's going to be this year? Have been discussed?
I don't know. You may get more information than I do.
I don't get anything.
I think they have a plan. They just
They don't share.
maybe it's so they don't trust us. But we'll be sitting here telling you guys.
Yeah.
And then episode 18.
That's right.
How do you find the right line with Ruth? Because when you're playing a character who, some scenes she seems like a religious fanatic, some scenes she's perfectly calm and reasonable, and it's kind of like, Shane's talking to me. How is this nuts? It's happening. I mean, and you're sort of smiling the whole time. I mean, you're kind of smiling and lovable the whole time.
I think the thing is that I kind of feel like I have the upper hand because I have the machine in my ear. So I think that's where the sort of smiling comes by, is that I know I'm doing the right thing. And maybe the religious aspect of it as well, is that I feel like my mission or my point in life is to be the carrier of her message, kind of thing.
You have this peace and this confidence of...
So it all makes sense to me.
Do you think the machine has specifically chosen Root, or why it has chosen Root? Because they've developed a unique relationship. Root's referring to her as she, and the machine obviously has an interest in keeping her alive. Do you think there's a specific reason that the machine's chosen her?
I think definitely. I mean, I think that's what sort of up until the end of last season, I was trying to get contact with her, and now the fact that she's come to me and reached out to me is sort of just telling me, all the stuff that you did in the past was right. You've been going down the right path, and now.
Thank you guys. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. It was so nice to meet you all.
Thanks.